The attack on public education, and given the fact that this is Martin Luther King weekend and the struggles that he fought for and died for. I mean, he died in 1968 fighting for sanitation workers to have safe working conditions and for them to be recognized as a union when workers were being crushed. And black workers, 1,100 of them were laid off, and their white counterparts were able to stay in working conditions. So we should never forget, and we should never be content until all humans are treated equally, and they're not being treated equally today. Schools are being segregated. And I was at a school board meeting the other evening at Sac City Unified where, yes, 11 elementary schools are being closed. They're not being closed in working class neighborhoods. They're being closed in low-income minority neighborhoods. One neighborhood is a highly Hmong community. They are very close-knit. They have businesses and families and bonds that they have built with one another, surrounded based on the proximity of their elementary school. So when we talk about closing schools, whether it be community colleges or elementary schools, we're talking about breaking up communities, breaking up bonds. And it was very, very sad and heartfelt as I watched children come up to the podium as these dirty bastards sat there at the table. And the little kid said, "Please, don't close my school. Don't take away my friends. How's my mother going to drive me to a school way across town where it's dangerous over there?" So that's what we're talking about from a human perspective. We're talking about breaking up communities, and we're talking about targeting low-income students. Who go to City College of San Francisco? Low-income students, because that's all they can afford. They can't afford to get into San Francisco State. They can't afford to take out a loan and go to a for-profit college, which they shouldn't have to anyway. They can't afford to go to a UC because UC and CSU is becoming harder and harder to get into. That's where they can afford to go. And the makeup of City College is low-income minorities. And that's what's being attacked here. So as we celebrate and honor Dr. Martin Luther King and other civil rights leaders who have died and fought and struggled, we should be out there and educating the parents of these students. Because whether you're a teacher, a parent, a lawyer, or someone who just cares about education, I'll tell you why you should care about education. Because a student of today is going to be our city planner tomorrow, our doctor tomorrow, our lawyer tomorrow, our politician tomorrow. The students of today make up our future. How many of you, raise your hands, want to go to a doctor who came out of an online education college? Any of you want to be cut into by one of those doctors? Any of you want to be represented by a lawyer that went to an online school? How many? When your job and your livelihood's on the line. How many of you? I don't see any hands. Okay, because that's what we're talking about. All of us should care because all of the students of today are our future. Because we're all getting a little older, and the next time we go to Kaiser or wherever we go to visit our doctor, we hope and we pray that that doctor has been highly educated and has come out of a school to treat our body as a unique body in a holistic fashion in the way that we can get healthy. And some of you are shaking your heads, and you've probably had experiences with doctors that haven't been highly educated. And that's the problem. Education affects each and every one of us because it is our tomorrow. And if we don't recognize that, if we don't fight, and it's not with the unions, I'm sorry, but the unions have just sold out. And some members of the union are just in denial, because teachers who haven't been in trouble or got in trouble or have had their jobs on their line, they don't realize that when they do, they're going to have nowhere to go because the union is not going to help you. They're part of the problem. And it's not to say that workers should collectively bargain. They absolutely should. That's what Dr. King fought for. He fought for workers because the Waltons of the world, all they want is a bunch of worker bees to obey their every order and not question unsafe working conditions. That's what they want, and that's what they want to produce in the colleges, worker bees. We should say, no, we want more of our society. We want to produce people who are happy and passionate about their careers. We don't want community colleges or UCs or CSU to produce workers. We want them to have a liberty interest in their career, whatever that is, whether it's a music career or an engineer or an artist. That's what makes society beautiful, is when people are passionate and happy about what they're doing, not producing worker bees for the Waltons and the Gates of the world, so the rest of us can live in shanty towns and bow down to them. We must all get out this weekend, and hopefully Monday, I know Monday in Sacramento, we have a march for MLK Day. If you do, you should get out and you should educate people. If everyone here educates 10 parents about what's going on, because most parents never heard of Eli Broad. They don't know who he is. They don't know about Gates. They hear Bill Gates and they think he's a wonderful guy. They have no idea of the purposeful defunding and how the money's funneling into these charters and into the online education companies and the consultants, and there's a whole list, and I have the list, Pearson being one of them. Pearson Education, the company Pearson, which is a United Kingdom company based in London, they control all the testing, they control the curriculum. You've heard of the Common Core standards. That's the content, that's the curriculum. And they control how it's being evaluated. So they got the whole enchilada. They control how teachers are evaluated, what they teach, and how they teach it. And if you look at Pearson, you look at all the arms off of it, it's quite an octopus. But Pearson is a main player, and so is Michael Milken from the Junk Bond. K-12 Inc. is the largest online education company in the country. And Larry Ellison, how many of you know Larry Ellison? Okay, Larry Ellison is a business partner of Michael Milken with his brother Lowell. All of you should look up, Google, Knowledge Universe.